Ladies and gentlemen, evening and welcome to your favorite English news program, a weekly magazine program being broadcasted live from your mother channel, TVT. I'm studio today with Miss Beatrice Amehwenu. Beatrice, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Amehwenu Beatrice. I'm a student I'm in my third year of audiovisual journalism at Easy Global Success. And today I'm going to talk to you we're going to discuss a very juicy topic, and that is very important for your household. Keep watching.
Yeah, so the topic is child education and challenges related to it. Before coming back to you, let's have a run-up of current news. Presided over by the head of state for Isozimnanya Singbe, the Council of Ministers met on Wednesday week at the Presidential Palace, Lome. The core issue for discussion was the implementation of the Universal Health Insurance Scheme in Togo. The full story with Kwasi Glay.
The Council of Ministers examined 7 draft decrees and heard 2 communications. Accelerating the process of implementing universal health insurance was the main focus of the Council of Ministers, in line with the head of state's vision for a policy of human capital development and promotion of social cohesion and harmony. This universal health coverage aims to achieve equal access to essential or primary health care for all, and to improve the quality of health care based on national solidarity. About the draft decrees, the Council of Ministers examined and adopted a first decree entrusting the management of universal health insurance scheme into the hand of the National Health Insurance Institute (INAM) and the Togo Social Security Fund (CNSS). In order to speed up the process of making universal health insurance operational and to broaden the scope of insured persons, a new architecture needs to be adopted, with an implementation plan that will make its benefit not only from INAM's experience but also from that of CNSS in the management of social protection. In this modification of the existing legal framework, INAM maintains its current mission as the universal health insurance management body for public and assimilated employees and holders of civil and military pension years. The CNSS, for its part, will manage universal health insurance for employees and pensioners in the private sector, self-employed workers in the formal and agricultural sector, and ministers of religion. The adoption of this decree will enable the 2 bodies responsible for the managing universal health insurance to bring their work into line with the timetable for implementation. The Council of Ministers examined and adopted a second decree laying down the conditions and procedures for membership, affiliation, and registration in the medical assistance scheme. The law instituting universal health insurance in the Togolese Republic provides for 2 schemes: a compulsory health insurance scheme based on the principles of contribution and risk pooling, and a medical assistance scheme which takes care of the most vulnerable citizens with a token contribution. The Council of Ministers equally examined and adopted a third decree on conditions and procedures for joining the registering for the compulsory health insurance scheme. The compulsory health insurance scheme is a common law contributory scheme provided for by the law instituting universal health insurance in the Togolese Republic. A 4th decree stating procedure for medical supervision universal health insurance was passed to the perusal of the Council. The text creates the condition for guaranteeing quality services and verification. Its adoption will help to make the universal health insurance system reliable, secure, and sustainable. The Council of Ministers examined and adopted a 5th decree laying down the terms and procedures for concluding, suspending, and terminating agreement between managing bodies and healthcare and service providers. The 6th decree determined the power, organization, and operating of the managing body's appeals commission. This decree establishes an appeal committee responsible for the settling any disputes that may arise in relations with beneficiaries and managing bodies of care providers. The purpose of the informal appeals committee is to avoid lengthy and costly legal proceeding. It is a compulsory preliminary step before any possible referral to the courts. The Council of Ministers examined and adopted a seventh decree defining the values and nomenclatures of pharmaceutical products covered by the Universal Health Insurance Scheme. The establishment of the guidelines for medical and paramedical procedures covered by the Universal Health Insurance is necessary to guarantee high quality, harmonized and standardized care. In what concerns the communication, the Council of Ministers held a communication on the national leisure policy. Leisure be taken into account in public policy since 1978 with the aim of making it a source of opportunities to support the socio-economic development of our country. They had a second communication on reforms in the hydrocarbons and carriage sectors. The proposed reforms aimed at modernizing the hydrocarbons and mining sectors in Togo based on the participatory and inclusive approach involving governments, players, municipalities, and the private sector. The Minister of Financial Inclusion and Organization of the Informal Sector reported to the Council about ministers on the progress of preparation towards the African Microfinance Week, which will be held in Lomé from 16 to 20 October 2023. More than 1.3 thousand experts and players in the microfinance sector from some 60 countries in Africa and the rest of the world are expected in Togo to reflect on the development of this sector in which our country has performed appreciably well, ranking first in the WIMO in terms of financial inclusion rates.
Abdel bin Ahmed Al Jubair of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia called on the Togolese head of state for Esosbinanya Singbe this week. Their discussions centered around the bilateral relationship existing between Togo and Saudi Arabia.
On 11 October, on 11 October, the Togolese head of state for Esosbinanya Singbe received in audience the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Special Envoy Adel bin Ahmed Al Jubair, who was paying a working visit to Togo. The Saudi diplomats conveyed to the head of state a message of congratulations from the King and Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia on the partnership between Lomé and Riyadh. Minister of State Adel bin Ahmed Al Jubair thanked the head of state for his commitment to strengthening relations between the two countries. Togo and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia enjoy excellent relations of friendship and cooperation in a number of sectors, including agriculture, the economy, energy, and trade. Through the Saudi Development Fund and the Islamic Development Bank, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia supports Togo in the implementation of policies to develop road, water, and agriculture infrastructures and to finance projects to expand the electricity transmission and distribution network. Cooperation between the two countries has been strengthened in recent years in the field of renewable energy with the construction of the Blita photovoltaic solar power plant, the largest in the West African sub-region. In addition, the two countries' chambers of commerce and industry are developing an exemplary partnership based on exchanges between investors and economic operators.
Well, viewers, thank you very much for following the run-up of part of our national current affairs. We'll be back to studio with Beatrice. Beatrice, welcome again.
Thank you.
Can you just brief us on the challenges educators face whenever they are trying to provide quality education to our children?
Okay, before I go into the topic of
Yeah.
today, I would like to assure you that the time spent in school is not equal to the time spent in learning. You can go to school, but there is no guarantee that you come out equipped with what you've been taught and everything that you have learned. With this, I also want to assure you, I also want to inform and even remind you that one thing Nelson Mandela, one of our heroes, said is that education is one of the greatest, one of the most equipped weapon you can use and change this world. With this, I tell you that we have 68% of student or even pupil, or let's just say in general, those that are going to school, those that are attending school, we have 68% of them. If we should calculate, we have 262 million out of 387 million of students that are going to school today. And to shock you, we even have 60% of these people that are not learning. That should tell you that they are going to school, parents are paying school fees, teachers are teaching, but they're not learning.
Why are they not learning?
Okay, back to that. Okay, just on that point, I was going to come to that.
Okay.
That was the reason why I mentioned it. But first, let me go straight into the point of the reason why we have educators struggling today with quality education for our children or for a child. For example, we have poor governance. If we should have a poor governance in a country that has a very low political standard, or even there is no democracy, for example, even if there is democracy, things are not going well at the side of the government, we are not going to have a good quality education in that country. It is impossible, because they will not even look into the need of investing in education. So education will already be something that we could not even write home about. So we can also look into indiscipline. Indiscipline brings us to where? Home training. People would say, or there is a popular saying that says charity begins at home. If I should talk about indiscipline and I link it with home training, that should give us the thought that for the fact that we confirm that socialization begins at home, begins from the family, you should know that before these children even step out from their house or from their homes, their various homes, to go to school and learn, or for the teachers to inculcate in them wisdom, knowledge, technical skills, technical know-hows, anything, there is this education that we give to our words from the house. I know you can agree with me on that fact, because your parents teach you this is good, this is bad. They teach you that this is how to learn, this is how to venture into this is how to make decisions. So far as the parents are not doing that work, I don't think it's going to be easy for the educators.
Oh yeah, they also are in the schools.
It's not going to be easy for them at all. And I can also talk about mental health. You know that mental health is something that we don't look into in Africa. We don't take it serious here in Africa. And it's a very sensitive topic, actually, mental health. Because if the child is not mentally stable, no matter how the educator, being parent or even teacher or tutor, no matter how they're going to put in effort, these children or these people that are learning, they're not going to retain any of these things that they're being taught. For example, someone who is suffering from trauma, from a very bad experience, no matter how you're teaching them, his mind is just going to be focused on this experience, this bad experience that he's gone through in his life. So mental health is also very important, and it's also a factor that if you don't look into it, it's going to make educators have a tough time trying to improve quality education in a country.
You mean the student or the pupil is not psychologically sound?
Yeah, it's not psychologically stable before going to school.
Yeah.
And this also has to do with the home they're coming from.
Yeah.
Not only with the educators. We also have our general almighty savior. That's what people call it today, technology, internet.
yeah, we are coming to that.
Yes.
How does it impact children's education?
So how does...
what are the benefits and drawbacks of this influence?
Yes. Just talking about technology, internet, the free access today to the internet, how does it impact education? Positively first, going to give the good news first before the bad news. So positively first, today with technology, we can have e-learning, for example. E-learning, technology has improved education in a very drastic way. For example, today we can even learn from home. We have subjects, stuff that we can learn online. And even today we have something they call the DIY, do it yourself. Yeah, you don't know how to do it, you just watch it online and you can do exact thing. So even, I'm not saying that people out there should hear this and go and do it. What I'm trying to say is that even if you want to learn how to make a bomb today, you can learn it from the internet.
Yes.
That's just by the way. If you want to become a very good speaker, you can learn it from the internet. If you want to become a very well-equipped person, that should even tell you that these educators are trying to improve quality education. But if this student that they are teaching or these people that they are teaching do not take the time to improve themselves, it's going to be like pouring water into basket. So it's a no-go.
So they have the gadget in their hands.
Yeah, they have gadgets.
They have everything in their hands, but they need to really
make use of them.
The best use of the gadgets.
Yes, that's it. Because internet, it's they say everything has a good and bad side. So internet can help us do things today, but internet can also spoil things. That brings me to the negative, the drawbacks of internet or technology on education today. Let's take the example of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, popular TV reality show stars that we have today. Their child that they call Northwest, she didn't get access to the internet on time. If I should say on time, it means that today we have 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old children that we can see on internet doing TikTok, for example, and their parents will be okay with it. They are even neglecting the fact that as they are doing this TikTok, they can also get access to stuff that cannot help in educating them positively on this internet. So that also brings me back to Komla Loki, a student that was in Kara. He made a video recently and said that even when the teacher is in class, we don't care. We don't care. And that video went really viral. And that video is even exposing the education of Togo. Thinking it's going to make people to start thinking that education of Togo doesn't have a good quality or they're not well equipped. Meanwhile, our professor, the Minister of Education, Doji Kokoroko, he's doing his possible best to put everything in place for us to have a very good quality education in Togo. So I think that even this technology can help us and can also spoil the quality of education in the country.
Okay. Beatrice, time is almost against us, but we keep the questions here and we continue next week again with the same topic because we have a lot to share. Well, viewers, Togo and South Korea celebrated 60 years of concrete partnership this week. The event marked by a great cultural show at the Lomé Congress Hall brought together Korean and Togolese authorities. The report by Kosigli.
Musical performances mark the Diamond Jubilee of diplomatic relations between Korea and Togo. Togolese and Koreans alike captivated the audience with their artistic displays. A happy occasion for the two countries to review their diplomatic relationship. Topics relating to the promotion of the private sector and to the development aid were explored.
Since 1963, when we established diplomatic relationship with Togo, Korea-Togo has maintained very close and friendly relationship. Observing the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations, my government is planning to increase our cooperation with Togo. And for example, in the sector of development cooperation, we will increase our support to Togo. At the moment, the KOICA, Korea International Cooperation Agency, they are planning to implement some big project. They invest around $30 million in the development of Togo children in northern Togo from 2025. Personally, I think Togo has the great potential for development. The Togo, as has deep water, the port, Lomé. So I think it's very important, to have the deep water port. So using that kind of advantage, Togo can become the gateway to the West Africa. So Korea is also the trading country. So Korea needs the seaport to trade with the African country. So I think Korea needs to develop the cooperation with Togo in that respect.
Korea and Togo wish to strengthen their partnership in several areas. An agreement on the promotion and protection of investment will soon be signed between the two countries.
Well, I'm still in studio with Beatrice. Beatrice, your last words before we leave here.
Okay, I know this is getting really interesting, but
Yes.
the time is not on our side. Okay, my last word before we call it a day or an evening.
Yeah.
We have to prepare our children, I would say our colleagues, for the challenges ahead and for the job market, which is not an easy place.
Yeah.
Because it's becoming really, really crucial. So what can we do? We're talking about educators, but it's not only educators, even from our home. Parents should support their children emotionally, physically, even mentally if possible. They should advise them. They should give them this good advice that tomorrow the parents are not there. They are facing a very difficult situation, but they remember the advices of their parents and they can just move forward and get right into it. And I also think that these children should not also, or our colleagues, students should not be focused on what they are given at school as what they should use to learn, for example. Students should not be based or focused on, for example, they call it, I don't know, handbook, for example, handbook.
Yeah,
and say if there is no handbook, then we can't learn, for example. So if the teachers teach them something, they should be able to use this internet, for example, wisely. Today we have what they call the artificial intelligence, which some people are becoming lazy because of artificial intelligence because they're not becoming creative. They're no longer becoming creative. They're based on artificial intelligence. But this artificial intelligence, we can use it in a way that we are going to drastically change this world. We're going to make it a better place. Use this intelligence, use this technology, use the internet wisely, and you even become a better version of yourself because you're going to be well equipped and you don't have the things that you were taught in school. You have the ones that you've developed yourself, the ones you've learned, and the ones you've mastered. So
thank
let's
you
be
very
prepared
much
for the future.
Thank you very much, Beatrice, for being in studio with us today.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, here comes the end of today's program. I hope to be with you again next week at the same time. Have a nice weekend.